Well, my name's David Anderson. I'm a PA and I work for Optum at this time. I've been a PA 40 years and always in family medicine. And what do I like about being a PA?
Yeah.
I've always loved being a PA. It's the people, dealing with people, and the families. You get to know, in family medicine, you get to know the whole families usually and generations of them. Great. Well, keep learning. Don't ever let yourself feel like you're less of a provider. And just see people and be a part of their lives and just work hard.
Was it like a long learning curve for you when you started as a PA? Like, did you feel not competent at the beginning?
Oh, sure. I think everybody feels like that. But when I started, people didn't know what a PA was. Back in the 90s, I started going back to Washington, D.C. with UAPA and then eventually with AAPA. I worked with them. And we'd have to go up on the Hill and spell PA to all the congressmen and senators. They didn't even know what they were. The one thing that sold the PA group with the politicians I dealt with was the fact that Ronald Reagan put 2 PAs in the White House, and as far as I know, they still have them there. And the congressmen and senators didn't even know about that. And pretty soon I would go back and they would say, I went and saw my PA the other day and he said I have this. Do you think that's right? So things changed and they're a lot different now. People know what a PA is. But back then it was quite difficult. And we still do. The UAPA still goes up on the Hill. I think they recently did it to keep in touch with them, and we're still here. And
Yeah. Makes sense.
I think every PA should spend at least 1 year in family medicine after graduation. Get a good foundation, and I think you're a whole lot better when you go into a specialty afterwards. And always keep the communication open with the docs. I was very fortunate. I had docs in almost every specialty that knew me, and I could call them. Several times in my career, my supervising doc back then, when they called them that, would say, would you call somebody for me about this problem? And I'd call them, they'd be happy to talk to me because I'm a PA and they expect me to ask them. And the docs had a hard time asking other docs. I don't know why, but it's expected out of PAs. So always keep communication open with the specialties, and that's a big plus. But family medicine, at least 1 year. Well, first of all, just by listening. And a lot of it, back in the beginning, people didn't know what a PA was way back then.
Yeah.
And when I had a lot of support from the doctor, I'd say they don't want to see me, they'd like to see you, and he'd say okay, and he'd go in, and then he'd just bring me in and just infuse me in with the practice. I don't know if that happens as much today as it did back then, but just the other day I had a guy come in and he said, I was a patient of Dr. Johnson's, he's retired, so I'm here to interview you to see if I want to see you instead of a physician. So we just talked and listened.
Yeah.
I listened to him, and by the end he was happy to come back. So
Awesome.
yep. Wow, that's a tough one. A non-medical skill. I don't know. I don't know how to separate it. Learning to listen, be non-judgmental. All the golden rules Mom taught you growing up.
Yep.
But a non-medical skill I didn't expect to use as a PA.
Like, is there like technology stuff that you learned on the way?
Oh, well, technology. I'm still trying to learn how to use a computer. So,
Yeah.
I was going to say colonoscopy. That was a great thing to learn, but that's medical. So I'm not sure how to separate it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, I did certify way back when in colonoscopies. I think I was the first one to be certified in Utah doing colonoscopies. And for years, that was one of the best exams I ever learned. I found disease in people in 1 out of every 6 of them I did. So another thing I pursued was, after many years of scientific medicine, I decided to do a doctorate in natural health, which included herbal products, massage therapy, Ayurvedic medicine, a lot of different disciplines, because I wanted to learn what my patients were reading and starting to believe in. Billions of dollars every year is spent on alternative medicine, they call it. So I wanted to learn more about that, and that's been helpful. There's a lot of them. Actually, I saw that question and I brought that up to my wife. I don't know if I can tell a lot of these stories. She said, tell the one about my son. My son's a DO. And when he was his 4th year, he was rotating through our clinic as a family practice student. Anyway, I was draining a hydrocele, and my son's a germophobic kind of guy. He's kind of gotten better, but he was standing there watching me drain this hydrocele, and I was pulling the fluid out and squirting it in a bucket. And he just kind of was acting funny, and I thought, well, he's probably not liking this much. And when we went out, you squirted me with ball juice. I gotta go home and change my clothes. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I think they were talking about somebody who graduated from the program who was lancing a abscess and didn't have any face protection and just got all
Yeah,
over the face.
I hit a nurse with that one time. She was very upset, but one of the ones I remember the most was I was draining this abscess out of a guy's right axilla area, and his wife walked up, and I could kind of see her, and I said, I don't think you want to stand there. I want to watch. Well, that's okay, but come over here. And there wasn't 2 seconds after she moved, that thing exploded, and it went a good 5 feet and hit the wall.
Jeez.
And that would have just covered her.
Yeah, you don't really think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know yet. It's gotten to be a lot tougher. We are spending minimum of 10 hours a day. Here it is Saturday, and I'll be here for about 5 hours trying to do paperwork. It's a lot tougher to maintain that balance in today's world, but You just have to do it. You have to remember what's really important, family and time with them.
Yeah.
And, and I think everybody has a different way to balance things out. Some people go skiing, some people travel. Use your PTO.
Yeah.
Don't become so overwhelmed that you don't think you can take time off. Use it.
Yeah. What do you think the things are that lead to burnout?
I'm sorry?
If you had to describe the things that lead to burnout. Challenge.
Well, the expectations of corporations and stuff nowadays, and the timing of getting things done, and it's a lot of pressure. Paperwork, it's a lot of pressure. Yeah. Seeing patients is always great. It's afterwards.
That's the fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Always remember to know how to say, I don't know. Let's find out. People really appreciate that. And it's something, I've been fortunate to be connected with faculties of University of Utah, Rocky Mountain, some other schools with MDs, PAs, and nurse practitioners. And it's one thing that PAs and nurse practitioners do, they do listen. And always say, I don't know. If you don't know, let's and go find out. Patients really appreciate that. Yeah. Just keep learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.